Hold up, stop scrolling, because what just happened on Monday Night Raw might be the beginning of the biggest rivalry WWE has built in years. Two monsters, one stare down, 0 words needed. Oba Femi and Braun Breaker locked eyes in the middle of the ring, and the entire wrestling internet lost its mind. This wasn't a handshake. This wasn't a tag team moment. This was two apex predators sizing each other up before the storm. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why WWE insiders think this collision is destiny. But to understand why this stare down has everybody talking, we've got to rewind and look at exactly what led both of these guys to this exact moment. Because trust me, the road here has been wild. Let's start with the man of the hour, Oba Femi, the ruler, the destroyer of worlds. This man is not playing around in 2026. Just days ago at SummerSlam, Femi did the unthinkable. He beat Brock Lesnar, again, inside Hell in a Cell. Let that sink in. Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, the guy who's ended careers and legacies for over 2 decades. And Oba Femi has now beaten him not once, but twice this year. First at WrestleMania 42, and now on one of the biggest stages in wrestling history. This isn't a fluke push. This is WWE creative putting their full weight behind a new era. Femi came into 2026 already a 2-time NXT champion, the youngest North American champion in company history, an Iron Survivor winner, and fresh off winning the entire King of the Ring tournament. The guy has been collecting accolades like Infinity Stones, and now on Raw, he cut a promo that sent a chill through the entire arena. He said the Brock chapter is officially closed. He said the Beast can finally rest, and then he said something even bigger, that his destiny is to lead an entirely new generation of WWE talent. Translation, Oba Femi isn't just here to beat legends. He's here to become the new standard, the new measuring stick, the next face of dominance in this company. And that's exactly when Braun Breaker showed up. Now let's talk about Braun, because his story right now is a completely different animal, and honestly, it's been one of the most talked about booking situations in WWE all year. If you've been following the dirt sheets, you already know Breaker has had one of the most frustrating years of any young star in the company. This is a guy who's a former NXT champion, a former Intercontinental champion, an absolute physical specimen who hits a spear like a freight train derailing, second-generation talent, son of Rick Steiner, nephew of Scott Steiner, wrestling is quite literally in his blood. And yet, despite all that raw ability, 2026 has been a roller coaster for Braun. Backstage reporting suggests creative actually had plans for him to win the Royal Rumble this year and pulled back at the last second. Word is Triple H himself shut down a pitch for Breaker to win the Rumble, a moment that was reportedly even shown on the Netflix series WWE Unreal. Fans watched that scene and immediately started asking the same question. What exactly is the plan for Braun Breaker? Since then, he's been running with the Vision alongside Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and Maxine Dupree, playing the heel, holding the World Tag Team Championship with Theory, but noticeably absent from the SummerSlam card entirely.
One of the biggest shows of the year, and Braun Breaker, a guy many consider a future world champion, was nowhere to be found. That absence did not go unnoticed. In fact, Bronson Reed, Breaker's own Vision stablemate, publicly called it out online right after SummerSlam, essentially saying WWE was scared to push Braun the way they're now pushing Femi. And it's not just Reed. AJ Styles, now a WWE Performance Center coach, went on record on his own podcast basically demanding to know why Breaker isn't already a world champion. Styles' exact sentiment? Braun should already have the rocket strapped to him. He should already be up in the stratosphere. So here's where things get really interesting. Before you keep going, if you're new here, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. We're breaking down the biggest angles in wrestling before anyone else, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming in the second half of this video. Alright, let's get into it, because there's more. Just days before that big Raw stare down, fans spotted something small, but telling. At a WWE live event in Springfield, Illinois, Braun Breaker was seen quietly giving a fan a high five before a match. Sounds tiny, right? But context matters here. Breaker is supposed to be a stone-cold heel right now, a villain in the Vision. Heels don't do that. Heels don't break character for a genuine warm moment with a fan. And the second it hit social media, it spread like wildfire, with fans speculating that this was the first visible crack in Braun's heel run, a subtle sign that WWE may be quietly setting up a babyface turn. Now stack that on top of the SummerSlam snub, the Bronson Reed comments, that AJ Styles comments, and Breaker's noticeably intense reaction when he confronted Paul Heyman on Raw, demanding to know where Oba Femi was. This isn't just noise anymore. This is a pattern. And patterns in wrestling storytelling, usually mean one thing: creative is setting the table for something big. So let's actually talk about it. The scenario everybody's buzzing about: Oba Femi versus Braun Breaker. According to backstage chatter and the reaction from insiders like Gino Morosco covering the staredown, WWE fully understands what they have on their hands here. The general sentiment is that the company still sees Breaker at an elite level, even while he's currently stuck running around in a tag team role with Austin Theory. The staredown wasn't an accident. It wasn't filler. It was a flag planted in the ground. Here's why this matchup makes complete and total sense, and honestly, why it could be one of the most explosive dream matches WWE builds toward heading into the next few months. Reason number one: the physicality is a match made in heaven. We are talking about two of the most dominant, hard-hitting, spectacle-driven big men on the entire roster. Femi's power offense versus Breaker's spear. This isn't a technical chess match. This is two trucks about to collide head-on, and audiences are starving for exactly that kind of car crash spectacle after years of chain wrestling and cerebral storytelling dominating the main event scene.
Reason number two: the timing lines up perfectly. Femi just closed the book on Brock Lesnar. He explicitly said in his promo that he's ready to lead a new generation. Well, if you're looking for the guy to represent that new generation standing across the ring from him, who fits better than Braun Breaker? A guy who is arguably just as hungry, just as physically dominant, and has been sitting there feeling overlooked and disrespected by the company for the better part of a year? The frustration is real. The motivation writes itself. Reason number three: this is the perfect vehicle for Breaker's redemption arc. If creative pulls the trigger and finally lets Braun break away from the vision to chase Femi, it solves two problems at once. It gives Breaker a face turn that fans have clearly been begging for based on that Springfield High Five moment alone. And it gives Femi his first true measuring stick opponent on the main roster. Someone who isn't a legend on the back nine of his career like Lesnar, but a peer, a guy his own age, in his own generational lane, fighting for the exact same real estate at the top of WWE. Now, is WWE definitely doing this? Nobody outside of the writer's room can say that with certainty. WWE is obviously keeping their actual plans under wraps. But when you line up the promo Femi cut, the stare-down that immediately followed, the reporting from insiders who were literally in the building, and the mounting pressure from voices like Bronson Reed and AJ Styles saying Breaker deserves more, all the signs are pointing in the exact same direction. And honestly, if this happens, it changes the entire landscape of WWE going into the fall. You'd have two genuine monsters, both under 30, both viewed internally as future centerpieces of the company, colliding in a program that could realistically main event a premium live event before the year is out. This isn't a mid-card angle. This has next chapter of WWE written all over it. Think about the storytelling potential, too. Femi, the outsider from Nigeria who conquered a legend in Brock Lesnar and now claims he's the one to lead the next generation. Breaker, the second-generation prodigy who's been held back, disrespected, and passed over, finally snapping and deciding he's not letting some newcomer claim a throne that should be his. That's not just a match, that's a legacy program. That's the kind of story that gets replayed in Best Rivalries of the Decade videos 5 years from now. And let's be real, the fans are already manifesting it. Since that Raw staredown went viral, timelines have been flooded with fan-made posters, highlight mashups, and think pieces asking the exact same question we're asking right here. Who is WWE's next true monster? Is it the man who conquered Brock Lesnar not once, but twice? Or is it the guy that half the roster, including AJ Styles himself, believes should already be a world champion? One quick reminder before we wrap this up. If you're enjoying breakdowns like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss it the second WWE makes their next move on this story. We are watching this one closely. So where does that leave us? Right now, all we officially have is a staredown, a moment, a spark. But in wrestling, sparks like this rarely stay contained for long, especially when the story elements are lining up this perfectly. Femi closing one chapter,
Breaker standing right there in the doorway of the next one. The vision potentially imploding around him. A fan base that is clearly ready to turn him babyface. And a company that, according to insiders, still absolutely believes in his ceiling. If WWE plays this the way all the tea leaves suggest, we could be looking at the defining rivalry of the next 12 months. Two young monsters, one throne, and a fan base that's about to be locked in every single week to see how it plays out. So now it's your turn. Drop a comment and let us know who wins this one when it finally happens. Does Oba Femi's momentum prove too much, extending his incredible winning streak against yet another top-tier opponent? Or does Braun Breaker finally get the spotlight moment fans and insiders alike have been begging for, spearing his way into a new era as WWE's next true monster? Let us know down below. Like this video if you're fired up for this one, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next breakdown. WrestleCore out.